Shalom, beloved. My name is Miss Highsmith, and I'm so glad that you've decided to join me here today for the APA Apology Response Series. Now, beloved, if you are not aware, back in February of 2021, the American Psychological Association, better known as the APA, distributed a public apology to people and communities of color for the part they played in promoting, perpetuating, and failing to challenge racism, racial discrimination, and human hierarchy in the U.S. Beloved, let us begin. For in this episode, we'll begin specifically at paragraph number 25, where I quote, "Whereas APA recognizes that traditional diagnostic methods and standards do not always capture the contextual and lived experiences of people of color, which influences mental health outcomes and emotional well-being." Close quote. The statement addresses a critical issue in the field of psychology regarding the limitations of traditional diagnostic methods and standards when applied to people of color. Let's move forward to break it down. Number one, traditional diagnostic methods such as standardized psychological assessments and diagnostic criteria were largely developed based on research conducted with predominantly white populations. This means that the norms and standards of these methods may not accurately reflect the experiences or mental health needs of people from diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds. When these methods are applied to people of color, there's a risk of failing to account for cultural differences and how mental health and emotional distress are expressed. Number two, through contextual and lived experiences. These diagnostic tools often fail to consider the cultural, social, and environmental factors that significantly influence the mental health of people of color. Issues like acculturation stress, discrimination, socioeconomic disparities, and cultural expressions of distress might not be adequately captured by traditional methods. Additionally, the lived experiences of people of color, such as unique stressors and coping mechanisms, are often overlooked. This results in missed opportunities for accurate diagnosis and effective treatment. Number three, influence on mental health outcomes. When diagnostic methods don't reflect the cultural context of people of color, it can lead to inaccuracies in diagnosis. Symptoms might be interpreted through a lens that failed to account for cultural differences. This misinterpretation can lead to misunderstandings and inappropriate treatment approaches. Inaccurate diagnosis or culturally insensitive practices can have a negative impact on emotional well-being, perpetuating stigma, and worsening mental health issues. Number four, the call for reform. This awareness calls for reform in how we approach psychological assessment and diagnosis. It highlights the importance of cultural competency in the field of psychology. Psychological tools must be adapted to consider cultural differences and mental health symptoms and experiences. Furthermore, there's a call for inclusive research that involves diverse populations to ensure that diagnostic practices reflect the realities of all individuals, regardless of their racial or ethnic background. Number 5, implications for the APA. Beloved, the APA recognized the importance of adapting diagnostic standards to reflect the lived experiences of people of color. This includes revising existing criteria and developing new approaches that are culturally sensitive. Training and education programs for psychologists must also integrate cultural competence, equipping future practitioners with the tools they need to understand and serve diverse populations effectively. And most importantly, we need to advocate for policies that promote equity in mental health care and ensure that research and clinical practices are inclusive of all racial and ethnic groups. In summary, beloved, the limitations of traditional diagnostic methods in psychology are clear. When we fail to consider the cultural contexts and lived experiences of people of color, we risk perpetuating systemic inequities in mental health care. The field of psychology must continue to evolve, adopting more inclusive and culturally sensitive diagnostic tools to improve mental health outcomes and ensure that all individuals receive the care and understanding they deserve. Beloved, thank you. Thank you for joining me in this important conversation. And I look forward to continuing this journey with you as we address these critical issues in psychology. Let it be remembered that we came together to continue to advocate for a future of psychological practices that recognize the richness and diversity of all people. Shalom.